right, just in time for the start of the game.
Oh my goodness.
Hopping into the car of Warren Van Landingham Jr.
They need to hire about 7 more bartenders.
Yeah.
Takes way too long.
Brandon and Blake got the drop. Blake immediately handed it back to Ryan's 3-bar. Ryan shot it and scored. It's now 1-0.
And I'm caught up.
And you're caught up. That happened as you sat down, so you have only missed that, and now we're on to this. And I don't think our scorekeeper next to us knows that it's 1-0.
Oh. Well, she's trying to keep me from shorting out everything with my Dr. Pepper.
She put it right between a bunch of wires.
There's a bunch of wires there.
As long as it doesn't get knocked over, it's fine. I mean, the best play is to hold it, but that's, next level.
Not if you're me.
Tap her on the shoulder and let her know it's 1-0. About to be 1-0 still. There we go. Uh-oh. Looks like a job for Jason. And Jason was just bragging.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
The keypad's not working.
So I said this earlier. I'll say it again.
First world problems, yeah.
I think the key to this match, really any match.
Oh, is not scoring yourself?
It's one of them. But I think the goalie who clears the ball is the goalie who wins. Shannon Coley gets this ball out of here more than Brandon does. I think Ryan and Shannon win.
It's definitely been the difference the last couple of times I faced Brandon in open doubles. He's just clearing every time or putting it on for his 3-bar.
Well, Brandon is one of the most efficient goalies in all of foosball, whether it's singles or doubles, because he's capable of scoring, first of all, so there's that threat. But it's without the turnover risk of some other heavy hitters who also score from the back. So he's
I've been on the receiving end of that recently.
And earlier, watching Shannon Coley play, he cleared at an amazing rate. And I'll take the blame for him not clearing it here since.
As soon as you say something.
As soon as
drink.
I say that, exactly.
Drink Foos World.
Jim Stevens would be proud.
He would.
Yeah. It's a good time out there.
He'd look at you, a little sparkle in his eye.
Yep.
Maybe pat you on the top of the head.
Yep.
He's all grows up.
Yep. It's their first time out. But I just believe that. And I think the numbers back it up. If you do some analytics, I think the overwhelming majority of the time, the team that clears the ball is the team that wins the match. And even though he's giving it to Brandon on the other end of the table, that's still clear. Just don't give it to the opponent's forward. That's really the only thing. You're a top player, Warren. What do you think about that? Just don't give it to the other team's forward.
If I tell you what I think about that, I have to name some names, and I don't want to do that.
Well, that's what we're here. Use initials if you need to. So if you need to talk about TS or TL.
Well, I gave T.O. only one piece of advice before open doubles started, is clear the 5-bar. And about 27 balls later that landed on the opponent's 5-bar.
It's tough.
It's kind of brutal. Who's Florida Man Rules?
Not sure.
He said,
Twitch, we just call them by the name that they choose.
Oh, he said called them out. I thought he said called me out. Sorry.
No.
Can't read the font small.
It's pretty small.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got internet. You can go back and watch our match and see for yourself.
Yeah. Every time you don't clear the ball as a goalie, you're basically giving up. And this is an estimate. You're basically giving up 1/4 of a goal. So if you have 4 possessions that are given to the opponent's forward on their 5 or their 3, doesn't matter which. Out of 4, one of those will be a goal.
Will be a goal.
And oftentimes 2 will. So just figure, like right now, if you're Shannon Coley, That's a 1/4 of a goal that he prevented just by clearing it up the table. And if you break, and people think that's an asinine way to look at it, but it's just that's how the numbers play out.
Well,
if you break it down,
I always say if you clear the 5, good things happen.
Right.
Either it shites in or ends up on my 3 bar, or
exactly.
Or I get a chance to steal it from their goalie. Like, it just good things happen.
And so earlier when these teams played, I think I'm trying to remember who. I'm pretty sure. So Shannon only turned the ball over to the opponent's forward. Actually, it was against Tony, I think. Only twice, and there were no, maybe only once, and there were no goals from that. And that's just in a game that's already going to be close because you're playing top tier players who pass and shoot very well.
Hey, Martin, I see you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Martin signing on here.
I see congratulations here in the chat. Did you win pro singles?
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you played the stop ball passer, Lewis Fitch.
And after about watching and playing him 17 games this weekend, I finally used it against him.
Yeah, good. He has a very strong 5-bar.
He's great. He's got it.
When the rules don't matter. Go ahead.
Someone, I don't know. Someone was recently asking me if I was left-handed. That guy's definitely got to be left-handed. His left hand's so good.
Fitch?
Yeah. What do you think?
I'll save that for another time. I think he had a very successful weekend. If you only look on paper and ignore the rules. I would poke jokes if it was only something that I experienced, but every quality of player, from the bottom all the way to the top, it's a pretty common theme throughout the weekend. So.
And having played him 3 times this weekend and watched him play about 8 other matches, scouting him, he's very generous. If you call him out on something, he apologizes, gives the ball back. So he's a really good sport.
Dennis and I did not experience that.
Are you kidding? The match I didn't see, huh?
Yeah. Well, and I also played him in open singles. I actually just quit. Funny story. This is totally true. Then we'll get back to watching this match. We got to the 5th game in open singles, and we had another one of those situations. And I was just like, you know what, dude, I'm actually tired. You can have this match. At 2-1 in the 5th game, it was over. I just didn't even finish it.
Maybe he just does it for people he likes.
Maybe.
But you just didn't even finish the match.
I didn't. I quit. It was 2-1. Had it on his 3-bar, and I was like, you know what? It's yours. Congratulations. Good luck. Unwrapped my stuff and left. Nice. It's always nice to see your partner grab a loose ball and then just flip you right into the...
I forfeited my fair share of singles matches just being too lazy, but I've never done it in the middle of the match. Usually I let my opponent know before we start.
Especially in a game 5.
In a game 5.
Game 5. An early game 5. No, I didn't have. They're going to switch sides here.
Sorry, everyone. 5-1. We don't talk about the game. 5-4 will. But now 4-4 we'll get back to.
I'll say something here because they're switching sides, and I don't know if you've played on table 1, but my experience has been limited to an open singles game last night, and then also pickup games today. The yellow side on table 1 is no bueno. I realize we're in Oklahoma, and I'm probably not supposed to speak Spanish, but that is the official call.
So I had a complete opposite experience. Now that I'm out of everything, I'll say it out loud. This side is lower.
Black or yellow?
The floor sinks, the black side,
okay,
than the yellow side, and I need to be as tall as possible over the table.
True.
So I hated being over here.
Okay.
I felt like I was reaching up to grab the rods. I hated it.
Get you a little Sammy Dijon footstool.
I'm telling you, I needed it for this side only. This floor is crazy this weekend.
Yeah, yellow is bad. They keep lubing it. I think that bearing is garbage, hot garbage. Jeff in the chat asks, do you think Brandon should start playing forward? Is it still too early? I think it's too early. I mean, with a player like Blake, and Warren, you tell me what you think, but with a player like Blake, I don't want to jump in and save anything this early.
Nah, he's gonna be.
Because the thing is, you take a good forward who might be struggling up front, but his confidence is still there, and then what you do is you demote him to a goalie with no confidence.
He'll do better in this match if he can take a couple of points, then maybe go to the back after 2-2 or something. Then he doesn't feel like
they have
he
been
just
switching
totally
defensively.
he doesn't feel like he just got demoted. He just feels like, hey, defensive switch, and it's just better mindset for him, you know.
Right, and that's the thing with.
You start Brandon up in the front in this one, start the match, it's going to be hard to ever go back, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, start the game, sorry.
They may have just solved their problems. The waitress just came over with a couple of cold ones, and they saluted.
So the problem solved. They got it now.
So,
Speaking of cold ones.
but yeah, I think I don't know. Again, you tell me what you think. I think it's always a bad idea to switch cold turkey on the first ball of game 2. And anytime, even at the locals back home, anytime my partner, if we have a crappy first game, they're like, "You want to switch?" I'm like, "Give it 2 balls." Like, give it 2 balls. Like,
Well,
don't just tap out that fast. Anybody can have a bad game.
I mean, it's a game of adjustments, and sometimes when you switch like that, you're starting over, and you don't want to start over if you're due, if you learned something from the game before. Why put Brandon up there and start all over?
Right, exactly.
Like, Blake got a game, got it out of his system. He'll probably win this game. That's how it goes.
Right.
These matches rarely are completely one-sided, you know?
Switch sides, take your 90 seconds, grab a couple cold ones, send a text message, look at Instagram, check the scores on your ESPN app.
Which is what Brandon's doing.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
I think he's in a poker game right now.
He go all in with 2-7 off suit. Let Ryan go and run his laps wherever he went. And it sounds like a joke, but that little difference can change the momentum from one game to game 2.
Sure.
I got to admit,
the old move used to be classic Horton. Three passes, 3 shots, and he goes, "I need to get a ref. You're playing too good."
And that's
in 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get a ref, and it changes everything.
Now, would he do that after he scored, or after they scored 3 in a row?
Well, he did it to me after I scored 3 in a row. He goes, "I gotta get a ref. You're playing too good." I mean, at least you're honest, but it's kind of kind of a big move. But at least you're being honest while you're getting a ref.
I was hoping that you meant it the other way, which would have made it even better, where he passes and scores to make it 3-0, and calls an official timeout to get a ref because you're playing too good and you're down 3-0.
That's I'm gonna do that.
I might. I know because Johnny would do that on the first ball. He'd pass and score, slam the ball in the middle of the table, and say timeout. 1-0. He scores to make it 1-0 and slams the ball and makes it a timeout.
Yeah, I see him do that.
This is a long 90 seconds. I actually did not see where Ryan went. Did you?
No, I didn't. And he's not small, so should be able to see him if he's anywhere around.
Right. Ryan is a big fella.
He's not small.
You think that matters when it comes to playing foosball? Like, do you think that part of the reason he's so good from the back is his leverage above the table?
I mean,
there he is.
You've also got to develop the right stroke to complement how tall you are.
Yeah.
I mean, not every guy his size can do it, but
right. Well, who's some other big men in front that could shoot really well from the back?
I mean, Diaz is tall. Diaz is pretty big, right?
Can he shoot pretty well? I know he's a defensive juggernaut. But is he an offensive? Probably not.
Like Tommy's level will give him a hard time, but to the mere mortals, he shoots good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was a pretty good pun on my part. Did you catch that?
No, I missed it.
Said I know he's I'm gonna save this so I can claim it one day. I know he's a defensive juggernaut, but is he an offensive? Probably not. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's. I'm claiming that one. That was for rent. All you aspiring commentators out there, you go ahead and use that, and that's is yours to use.
Yeah, it's all relative. I honestly think he scores his fair share, and he scores some pretty big points.
Yeah.
It's just, some of these people are comparing him to the top 3 2-bars in the world. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
if you're number 4, or something like that, you're not doing too bad.
They're finally going to fix this bearing on table 1 on that yellow.
That was the
5-bar.
problem. Oh, the
And,
one you were complaining about.
Yeah, the one. I've been talking about it for the last hour and a half or 2, and I believe it was. I can't quite read it. I'm pretty sure that's T-Roo who said possible table maintenance call. So good call on that one. You win 2 years of free subscription to absolutely nothing. I can't promise you anything, actually.
So,
sorry, but thank you for making it. Go ahead, Warren.
Jeff says Steve Biney and Lewis Cartwright, 2 good examples.
Ooh, yeah, Biney especially. I like, and Terry obviously very good from the back.
I played with Biney 2 weeks ago, Hall of Fame, and oh my God, I'm like, please don't pass me the ball, just shoot it.
Right.
It's incredible. Percentage of how many times he actually decided to shoot off the 2 and score was ridiculous.
So then take it to the other direction. Let's name some lower center of gravity players.
Tommy, Brandon Munoz.
Brandon Munoz is
Kevin,
the best. Yeah.
Kevin Romero.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they're actually, and not only are they already vertically challenged, but they also like lean down even more, so that they look like they're riding a motorcycle a lot of times when they're on the 2-bar.
I haven't noticed if Kevin does it, but Brandon especially, like he goes lower, even gets his head down. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't even understand how he hits the ball. I played with him a couple weeks ago too. Brandon also too.
Yeah.
And he just something moves and I hear an explosion. I don't even know what just happened. I don't even understand how he hits the ball. I don't even get it.
It's pretty amazing. Chris Doobie, that's a good one as well. Lewis Cartwright. Cartwright's not super tall though. He's probably what, like 6'1", 6'2", something like that. And Jeff Greenhall, by big, I don't necessarily mean circumference. I'm just saying.
I mean, Cartwright's on the bigger end, I guess. But yeah.
Should we have an event for men under 5 feet? Under 5 feet 7? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm against that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you need, like, I'm actually not in favor of like specialty events unless it's focused at a group that would not be able to fairly compete otherwise. So for example, they have like the Paralympics or the I don't know what they call it in foosball, but the Paralympics version of foosball, where obviously accommodations need to be made. I think that's good. Trevor Short, yeah. I don't even know how to. I don't know about. Yeah, well, you know.
No, that's. I think it's pretty accurate.
Drinker. Oh, you know what? Drinkers like myself.
He's looking Kevin Romero in the eyes. I think they're eye to eye.
Here's a good idea. Florida Man Rules says drinkers like myself need accommodations, and here is an actual. This is an idea. Look for this on a tournament in the next few years, if I ever get my hands on a tournament. And I don't even drink, but I think they should have. You know how they have like rookie doubles, you know, rookie singles. Because if your points are like 1,000 or lower, you can play rookie singles or whatever the point cutoff is. And so so instead of points ratings, they should have a BAC ratings. So you should have like the .20 division. So in order to play, you have to blow at least a .20. Before every game, by the way, or before every match, not just at the beginning of the day. And so you could have the lightweights like a .05, you could have a .10. You could have a .15, and I think .20 is probably where you want to start drawing some limits. That's 2.5 times the legal limit to drive in most states.
I like it.
I think that's a good idea.
The event has to be in a hotel, right? Because if we're anywhere else, you're going to get in trouble for having to drive home.
And to be honest, they probably should just do it next door to the jail, the local jail. BAC singles, yeah, call it, and you know, and have it with a fun name. Like BAC singles tells you what it is, but if you
Karen wanted to point out that the first women's event for 5'2" and under, she's ready. She's ready to go.
Going to need buckets. I think you underestimate how drunk foosball players already are most of the time. I know foosball players who are top-level players who can't even get warmed up without having 2 or 3 beers. Yeah, BAC singles is the play. That needs to be an event. Talk to ITSF and see what they think about it. And then the great debate would change from,
17 and under BAC singles.
The great debate would change from, everybody wants to talk now about rollover or pull shot. 2 to the 5 or shoot from the back. In the BAC singles, the debate would shift from wine or beer, vodka or whiskey. It would no longer be about.
Oh my God! Did you see that?
No, I was too busy making alcohol jokes.
Shannon blocked him, went up in the air over his man in the goal.
That's brutal. And a lot of players will get frustrated and say, "There's nothing I could have done," but you and I both know that's not true. There is always a place to block the ball, even if it's coming from the sky. You can get a man back there, right?
Right.
In case I didn't hear, it's last call for alcohol.
I just got a text message. I won't say who it was because they didn't give me a consent. But I have someone who is claiming that they would be an excellent judge for the BAC tourney, and by claiming, I'm just being legally accurate with my language, because I know by their chosen profession that they are absolutely qualified to handle the breathalyzer.
Gotcha.
They're also adequately qualified to take you to jail if you try to drive home from that tournament. That's quality content. Meanwhile, it's 2-0.
So they're qualifying you for the event, and they're making note to not let you leave.
Exactly.
Without help.
It's one of those events where the losers get a free hotel room anyways. All right, back to foosball. It's 2-0, game 2. Blake Robertson.
I'm sorry. I'm a horrible play-by-play or color person. Like, I haven't even seen a play yet.
I think
Except for the one that bounced over.
you called the aerial just a second ago. Nice little wiggle straight. I don't know what that's actually called. I call it the wiggle straight. Just kind of wiggles and goes straight.
I'll go with that. I like it. Brandon forgot to move.
Huh.
Vu loves that Blake's doing that pass now.
Which one?
The
Middle to middle?
No, the inside of the man to the wall. You know what Vu always does?
Oh.
Vu swears he got it from him.
Oh, yeah. Vu thinks he invented something. That's adorable. That is adorable.
That was a nice shot.
First time Chatter says I was always good at darts. And if you no, he says he was always good at. Let's try this again. Anybody got a breathalyzer handy? Jesus Christ. Was always so bad at foosball. Any of you good at darts? Sir, this is a foosball game. And no, I suck at darts. To answer your question. Welcome in. Thanks for being here.
I mean, this game isn't over, but we kind of called this, right?
I don't know. What did we call? I thought it was
Lose 5-1, win 5-1.
True.
4-2 is pretty close. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Jinx is on.
Rating you guys from the Sports Accelerator program. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the raids.
Uh-oh.
You're watching
Spoke too soon.
foosball at its finest. You're looking at 3 of the best players in the game and one of the top pros in the country. This is the losers bracket final of open doubles here at Oklahoma State. Jeff says your dad was always good at darts. Is that true?
He picked it up later in life, and yeah, I think he was pretty good.
I see him being good at just pretty good at just anything, right? Pool,
Yeah,
cornhole,
yeah.
horseshoes for sure.
When we'd have family reunions and the aunts and uncles and cousins and whatever game we were playing, my dad was winning.
And if somebody said, you know what, you've been around longer and you know how to play these games, so I'm going to make a game up that you've never seen before, he's probably going to be pretty good at that one too.
He might have a chance in the beginning, but if he figures it out, you know.
Good stuff. The yellow side is cursed. Yeah, the yellow side is rough tonight, that's for sure.
Uh-oh. Mounting this comeback.
Is it the D curse? The commentator's D curse. All right.
And they're back.
Down to 4 from 2-4, bring it back to 4-4. Those of you who aren't super familiar with foosball, it's games to 5. This is a best 3 out of 5 series, so this is game 2. It's not win by 2 until the 5th game. So here in game 2, this is game point for Blake. That's a big middle. Get left open. It's a very nice shot. Blake Robertson shooting it to that push side. And they'll switch sides.
What do you always say? Blake takes longer than 5 seconds. He doesn't miss.
So Blake has a really interesting stat. If he's inside of 5 seconds, he's something like 60 or 70% shooting, probably 60, low 60s inside of 5 seconds. If he takes longer than 10, he's just a hair better. Close enough to say that he's about 60-ish. Under 5 and over 10. And in that middle segment, 5 to 10 seconds is where his numbers tend to dip a little bit.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, so if he's under 5, they're stellar. If they're over 10, they're stellar. If they're between 5 and 10, they're still not bad, by the way. Blake is good no matter when he's shooting it. But that middle 5 to 10 seconds, that middle chunk is...
yeah, I guess it's the over 10, I remember you saying.
Yep, over 10 is lights out. And, of course, quick shooting is lights out. What's that? Careful over here. Having to play bouncer, playing security for my gear back here. Make sure that the great Charles Britt doesn't go tap dancing on a few $1,000 worth of microphones and cables.
Hey, give me 1 sec.
Okay. The Illuminati make them in a third world country under a pyramid. Would you call that a pyramid scheme?
With Virginians.
Yeah.
Is that West Virginia?
Yeah. Mountain Mama.
And we're off. Game 3.
And it is one game apiece. The blue rectangle underneath their names indicating the number of games they've won. Again, it's a best of 5.
Oh.
It's a big middle.
Blake and Shannon have played the last couple tournaments together. I wonder how that factors in how he's blocking or how Blake's shooting on him.
Shannon's also, he's a Mississippi homeboy, so they've even before that, I'm sure they've played against each other quite a bit, even with each other other times. And I think so far, I really believe that Shannon has just played really well, no matter who's across from him. Blake and Brandon in this match, Tony and Tommy in another match. He's had a very solid tournament. And granted, it does help to kind of relax a little bit knowing that you've got the great Ryan Moore up front. But you still got to give Shannon credit for just playing really well. Scored a couple in a match earlier against Tony and Tommy. Cleared the ball really well against them. Clears the ball here, gets it to Ryan Moore's 5-bar, who
I don't know what that was.
it was a thing. And meanwhile, it goes to Blake's 3-bar, who immediately slams it to that near side, and it's 1 apiece.
I don't know how much you talk about your ace stat, but where's Blake in that?
So it's been a while since I've done the ace stat, and it's one of or any stats for that matter. And for those who don't know, the ace stat is when it's your serve. So right now it's Blake's serve. He's putting the ball into play. So if he passes it to his 3-bar like that, and then he scores right here.
What you did.
That would have been really nice. Like the timing.
No, I like it better that he missed, so people see.
So that is not an ace.
He has no chance of getting ace now until
Right.
the next
The
time
rest
he
of the
foots.
ball. Nice shot by Shannon Coley.
Shannon, wow.
Yeah, he's capable of that too.
But that shows you how hard it is.
To get an ace, right? And once, and it's only so again, it's Blake's serve, and he did not pass it, so that ace. So he's 0 for 2 since we started that conversation in terms of aces. He's had 2 attempts, and he didn't hit either one of them. So he has no aces in this last 2 minutes or so. And what's the thing about the ace? It's just like in any other sport where you have an ace. Anytime you can score without the opponent even touching the ball, it's a momentum thing. It's a confidence thing. It's all kinds of things. And I think it's worth keeping track of, which is why I do it. It's one of the many stats that only I can do, by the way. Fun fact.
When unconventional things go against you, or so-called breaks,
Right.
it's usually just because you gave up possession and then something bad happened to you.
Right. And it's also a way to quantify how rarely they are the reason that you win or lose. Like, being better is going to be the reason you win most of the time. Being worse is going to be the reason you lose most of the time. Right? And breaks do happen. And if they happen at a bad moment, then it's a bummer. But the reality is you're not winning the game or the match on breaks. Even if it's on that individual point, you still got yourself into that position by either playing well or playing poorly. So I like to quantify the breaks as well. I think anything you can quantify and talk about and figure out is good. That's your cup of tea. Speaking of breaks, Blake puts that on goal, but it bounces off the wingman on the outside and into the goal.
If I'm not mistaken, Ryan had the ball a few seconds before that.
He just tapped it back.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen. Blake doesn't wing that thing. I mean, that's how it goes.
Right. And it could be very easily, in that situation, it could be 3-2 in Ryan's favor, but instead, a couple balls later, it's 4-3. It is 4-4. I knew that
It
was.
is 4-4.
Yeah.
What now?
Just wiggle middle. Why not?
Just pull side, that's what I do. Or timeout.
Timeout. And that's the reason we don't make bets. We don't gamble.
No.
I like seeing Ryan take a timeout here. It's 4-4, 1 game apiece. I like watching Ryan do anything that indicates that he cares.
Right.
And he's fun to watch no matter what. If this is, West Montana regional, whatever handicap singles, he's still going to be fun to watch.
Right. But you're right. When he cares, it's
But when
even,
he cares, it's even
better.
yeah. And then there's a name for that, right? There's a stat for that too. It's the gas factor. The gas is an acronym, stands for give a shit. And he cares. He's here to play. It's that middle.
You called it.
Yeah. I think it wasn't there.
I mean, that was
Before
a,
the
that was a,
timeout.
that was a hard one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Earlier was all right.
Before the timeout, it was. I don't think they were giving it. And then out of the timeout, he starts walking it around, opening it up, and just slams it home. 2-1 in favor of Ryan and Shannon. It's a fun match, man. But yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a Ryan Moore fan, dude. I like all these guys. They're top level players. Like them as people. But Ryan is definitely a favorite to watch. And when he cares, when he has a reason to really push for a victory. And in this case, I think it's a couple reasons. One, he wants his first partner, and also he lives here. Like, he's not from Oklahoma, but he lives here, and he wants to win this.
No, he was talking to me quite a bit about that right before Open Singles started, and of course he didn't get in. And he said, like, I can only get motivated for a partner now. I mean, not all the time, but this weekend he's not far from home, got the kids, but he'll do it for Shannon. Do it for his doubles partner.
Right. Somebody asked in chat, is there an advantage to being left-handed in foosball? For me, the answer is no. It's like anything else. There are things that make it a little easier for one reason, and maybe you lose something somewhere else. But I think overall, it's a pretty evenly balanced game. And if you play pull or throw darts or anything like that, there's really no advantage to being left or right-handed. A lot of people who are into bowling think that there's an advantage to being left-handed because your side of the lane gets used less frequently, so it stays fresh for longer. If you're a pitcher, there's an advantage, especially in Little League. So sometimes left-handed comes into play, but I don't think so in foosball, especially in doubles. That middle was gaping too. What do Blake and Brandon? Here's a good question for you, Warren.
Yeah.
What do Blake and Brandon need to do to take this to a fifth game?
I mean, the game they got the big lead in. They gave up the lead, but ended up putting it away. Blake was just efficient. Get efficient pass, not too many shots. He didn't need very many shots to get to the 4. That's what it's going to take. Every time Blake loses possession, Ryan and them are that much closer to win this thing. Yeah. And Shannon just hands on the ball.
Just gives him a free possession. And no matter what happens here, that's painful. And he does get it back, and you think, well, no harm, no foul. That's not true. The information that Blake gets from that possession, even though it wasn't a score, can absolutely come into play for future possessions, especially early in a game where it's 0-0. So that is not a harmless turnover, even though he did. And there we have it again. And so now Blake is shooting with this current read plus the information from the last possession. And he slams it home, make it 1-0 in the fourth game.
Completely agree.
I'm not bad at this sometimes.
Well, you get some of these local matches where one game just gets away from you.
Right.
3-0, 4-0. And you think, next possession doesn't matter. But, man, if you can keep that last couple points off that forward's 3-bar, it's less information he has going into the next game,
And that's one thing that, I love local small tournaments with newer or lower rated players and being able to just whisper those little nuggets into their ear and say, hey, you know what? Clear the ball, we win. Don't clear the ball, it's on you. Because basically, it's never my fault, and I think it's important that my partners always know that. But
that you're in agreement before you ever start.
Yeah, you get the credit if you clear. You get the blame if we lose because you don't clear. But yeah, that's another position. Like, even though he blocked that, letting that ball go to Blake's 3 for another shot, like he was doing a lot better with that earlier. Nevertheless, he blocks another shot. He's playing very well defensively. And let's see if he can clear this. And he does. Gets it down to Blake's 2-bar.
Brandon's.
Yeah, Brandon's 2-bar. Thank you. And
Brandon's right back at him.
And he's a scoring goalie, Brandon is. So even though it's getting into his possession, it's still a clear because it's better than Blake having it on his 3. And here he gets it on his 5, which is a 50-50 chance it goes to Blake's 3. Feels like I don't know, are they antsy? Feels like the otherwise clean match kind of got a little away from both sides. You feel that too, or is that just me?
It's a little bit defense helps.
Yeah.
But the fact that, the goalies are just trading possessions. Oh, then he scores one.
Yeah. Brandon
Trading
will
possessions makes it feel like it's probably not as clean as you think, but it's
Right.
just taking the forwards out of the game.
Good point.
Two of the best forwards in the world aren't getting to touch the ball. It's going to seem a little messy. Okay.
I heard a ball on another goal,
Yeah.
on another table.
That was in.
And I thought it was in, and then the ball came flying out. It confused me.
Happens to me all the time.
Someone in chat says when your goalie can't clear, it stresses out the forward. I absolutely agree with that. I don't know. I will never.
I don't know if it's a stress factor, but definitely
It puts
you
more.
feel like you're not part of the, feel like, I don't know, if your forward's as strong as Ryan or Blake and you're not letting them touch the ball
Right.
or be involved, that's hard, Why are they there?
It's a nice shot by Shannon. That's his second this match.
Me and Brandon trading goals here.
Yeah. Go figure. A player like Ryan Moore on the table.
Blake felt that one a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you see him?
Tap middle. This is a good match. I really agree.
When I grows up, I want to have a shot like that.
Right. Rushed down by Blake. He sets it up. So this middle 5 to 10 seconds, which is where he is right now, is where I won't even say he struggles. It's just where his percentages are the lowest.
Right, where he dips, like you were
Right.
saying.
And so if he's doing it earlier than that, or if he sits on it for another 3 or 4 seconds, and the quick one, his quick reads are the best in the game as far as I'm concerned. I don't think anybody shoots quick at a higher rate efficiently than Blake Robertson. And beyond 10 seconds, I think it's actually the same. I think it's just one of the best there is.
I hate to admit, I spent 100 hours watching his matches trying to figure out what his read is when he shoots that quick, and still baffled.
I think, I genuinely believe Blake processes information in his brain at a level that is actually that fast. I don't think it's random. I don't think that he just grabs the ball and goes. You can't just get lucky that often. I think that he actually processes information on a different level.
It's absolutely not luck with all the example, all the data we have, all the matches we've seen.
Right.
It's not luck.
I mean, in one tournament, you wouldn't say it was luck, much less for a decade.
Sure.
One thing I love about Ryan's game is if he finds a weakness in your defense and can exploit it, he will do only that shot until you block it. So those tap middles worked for a few times. You can expect, and he got blocked on a tap middle there. You can expect quite a few more tap middles. They're talking here about the recoil with Brandon trying to get that loose ball. There's a little dig. That's a little dig. Throwing a little dig at him.
So
And they're all friends.
Brandon's not going to sit there and take that. He's going to.
Yeah.
Now he's interjecting.
I think they're actually questioning, did it get jarred off of Ryan's 3-bar, yeah? They're going to compromise. I think Ryan's not even saying that he got him. I think Brandon just is so convinced that he did that he's voluntarily giving it back. And he's saying, like, I got it right here, yeah. And Ryan's saying, yeah, I don't know. So it's a case of you take it. No, I don't want it. You take it. I don't want it.
Ryan kind of dropped it was a little aggressive, but
Yeah. But, I mean, he didn't even ask for that.
right.
So kudos to Brandon. And they're all buddies. I mean, they're not trying to screw each other out of a win here. They want to play fairly.
Well,
If Brandon thinks he got him, then he got him. I trust Brandon's judgment. I also trust that he's not giving it away unless he knows that he did.
right.
No matter if Ryan asked for it
No,
or not.
I agree with that.
So now that Ryan, there was a little bit of a fun exchange there, and I actually think that loosened Blake up a little bit, which can only be good for Blake and Brandon. Shannon's done that little pull-push kick a couple times now. That's what he scored with earlier. Probably a safe play there to just slice it up the table. And again, I'd be looking for that tap middle that he was scoring with earlier. That's the reason I'm watching.
What I like about Shannon going to that is even if Blake gets a piece of it, it's really hard for him to grab it.
It's a safe clear.
Yeah. It's not going to hit anything solid.
Right. And Blake just turns it over.
And so did Ryan.
Ryan, he gave that back.
Oh, he gave it back.
Yeah, he gave that back. Yeah. He gave it back.
Intentional?
Yeah, 100%. He literally tapped it forward. There's no doubt in my mind that was intentional.
I was in the same mindset that he was. We were both thinking of this really softness, and we just play.
It's a good match.
Yeah.
4-2 in game 4. And that's one of those.
This
I
match needs to
guarantee
go 5.
you put a stopwatch on that. I guarantee you Blake was around 12 seconds right there. And I was just about to say there's no way he misses this because that's where he heats up again. Defensive switch on the right side of the table. I too would love to see this go to.
So what about Ryan on time?
Ryan's hard to predict because it's one of the things. And this is match point.
Over. Nice shot.
But just to answer your question, even though that match is over, good job by Ryan and Shannon. Fun match to watch. I would have liked to see it go to a game 5 as well.
I mean,
Ryan varies his timing on every rod
yeah,
quite a bit.
those guys gave him so much respect. I mean, how many of his last shots just went down the middle? You know, that's just what he does to you. Varying his timing, hitting the ball so hard. I mean, you can't, you know, it makes you move.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to